All right, let's start looking at a proxy log dork. Now, you might be wondering, why search through the proxy logs? Well, for two reasons, right? And let's get going on this guy right here. URL data leakage, right? So if you're able to search, well, actually, we'll just start even taking a step back from there. Now, it's common for all GET requests and responses to be logged at the proxy layer, right? And it is best practice really to place sensitive information within the post body, right? So you have a GET request, then you would have a post request. So you'd really want to put that sensitive info in that post body. Now, you'll see, I mean, a lot of items that should be in the post body would be session ID, sensitive tokens, any social security numbers, etc., right? And the reason why that is because usually the post body is not logged, right? But a lot of these sensitive items are usually placed within a GET request, which is logged, right? So an example is like right down here, okay, where you see, like a sensitive token, right, right in here, okay, and similar in the example right here, we really see the token again, but is passed as say a query string parameter, etc. So that is one common reason why hackers would be searching through proxy logs. Another is really for abnormal response codes, right? And you can see that in this Wikipedia link down here. But one thing that I do want to say is it's like, if a hacker could go in and see like, oh, this particular route is usually getting a 500 response, right? So then they would go in and invoke that 500, and maybe there's a stack trace that's shown, etc. So I think I also just highly suggest that you familiarize yourself with all the different status codes just in general. I think it's just a great practice and to have, or I mean, a piece of information to have in your tool set. Okay, so let's start really focusing in on basically the proxy log dork. Okay, so at the top you'll see term one around to term two. So basically, what that is saying is that term one is within 2 words of term two. Okay, and just make sure to capitalize the around just for more consistent results. So anyhow, basically, what is this useful for? Well, this is really useful for searching documents where the ordering of terms can be customized, right? And an example of that is logs. Usually they have a more of a set formatting, but they can vary, there are some variations, okay? So let's look at like just an Nginx log example right down here, right? And I've just kind of put in some dashes there just to kind of simplify it. But basically we have a GET request, we see the route which it is going towards, and we also see that there will be a status code in a status code here. So that would be a 500, etc. So how would this look in say a Google Dork, right? So right here we have a file type of log and an in URL of access.log or error.log. And access.log and error.log are common Nginx logging file names, right? Or configuration. Well, let's just say it's just more of a standard. Okay, it can deviate, but it's that's just the standard kind of file names there. Okay, so in the in-text operator that we've learned about, you can go ahead and place the around operator inside of it. So here we see we're basically matching this portion right here, and we're saying, hey, it can be within 5 words of 500, which would be the status code. Okay, so and we'll get into the GitHub portion in a second. So pretty powerful. Okay, so ultimately, why I am leveraging the site operator here is when you do this search, right, there's going to be a lot of github.com results in there, right, just for different example, kind of logs, etc. So if you wanted to negate all of those github.com, say, results, you can go ahead and leverage the site operator with a negation there. But we'll just learn about the site operator in general, and then we'll kind of wrap it back around to our current query, or the proxy log dork. Okay, what is the site operator? Well, the site operator scopes a search to a particular domain. It can even be a top-level domain, right? For an example, right here we have .net. Okay, so it'll basically, yeah, it's pretty crazy what you can get there. Okay, so if we do site github.com, it'll match github.com. And also, it'll match all of GitHub's right here, their subdomains. And you really want to leave out the www here, just to ensure that really there's a match on all subdomains. So it's just kind of a little tip that I've come across. Okay, so wrapping that back into our proxy log dork, putting in this the negation here of site github.com will remove the example logs that are false positives. But are those false positives? Now that's the interesting thing. Sometimes there are. I mean, you'll just have to take it on a case-by-case basis. But think about it this way. Would you want to do this for Stack Overflow? If you made a really targeted search there, a lot of times devs post, unfortunately, their company's logs on Stack Overflow or other sites when they have questions, okay? And that is definitely a treasure trove of information from a reconnaissance standpoint. So just think about it. Are these items really false positives, or are these devs or somebody else potentially leaking information? I don't know. That's really up to you to decide on a case-by-case basis. So let's just kind of look at the example of this. And when I put this whole search right here into Google, this is what I got. So you can pretty much see it matching right here. You can see it won't let me select, but yeah, you can see the matches with the 500 error and whatnot. And if there was some variation, it would definitely kind of pick it up, and which is nice. But it scopes that variation to just 5 terms between that get and literally the term 500. Okay, so pretty powerful. Okay, so what about the negation operator? Okay, so where can that be leveraged? Well, you can do that for an operator, as we saw with the site operator. So we can do a negation right here with just an operator in general. You can do a word, right? That is very powerful in the sense that you will see this commonly within Google Dorks, like negation on next, last, or reply. Basically, that is helping to negate web pages that are a part of help form results. Once again, you never know if maybe that is somebody leaking information onto a help form, but sometimes help forms can contain, just people talking about, say a certain log, as I previously stated, that aren't really what you're looking for. So you'll commonly see negation of just form results, or also you can do a whole phrase, as we are seeing in here. Okay, and so you can do a negation on a whole phrase as well. So you'll see, that just the negation operator paired with other operators is just incredibly powerful. So that's pretty much it for right now, but looking forward to seeing you next time. Okay, thanks.